Welcome to the Ballarat Football Netball League netball match of the day. We're at Clark Oval to see the Sunbury Lions face Darley. This is a pretty massive match with the Devils sitting undefeated at this point of the season, and the Lions have won three of their matches so far. Both of these teams probably very different from the last time they played each other, but there is a lot of similarities between these teams and a lot of connections that we will see out there. So for the Sunbury Lions, who are coached by Kim Bailey, we've got Lani Fukuwano, I think it's pronounced, at goal shooter, Tara Grady at goal attack, Simona De Filippo in wing attack, Taylor Honey in the centre, Eliza Gallant in goal defence, Georgia Hillier in wing defence, Ali Randall in goalkeeper, then Ava Hillier and Ruth Smith on the bench. Then for Darley, at goal shooter, we've got Rebecca Hicks. At goal attack, we've got Monique Nagel. At wing attack, we've got Alish McCormack. At centre, we've got Bruce Stanley. At wing defence, we've got Shannon Blackman. At goal defence, we've got Grace Markovich. And you've got, at goalkeeper, you have got Matilda Elliott. On the bench, you've got Ali Martin, Tani Lopez, Jamie Lee Smith and Olivia Carthree. So, look, it'll be a big match here. The Devils will go favourites into this match, but we have seen with the Lions that they've pushed every side they've played this season, so expect it to be a really competitive match. Kim and Di know each other well. They've had a lot of connections during previous leagues, and there is some girls who have played for under both of these coaches. Bruce Stanley is one who spent a number of years at the Sunbury Lions and was in Team of the Year many seasons by playing on these courts and playing under Kim Bailey. Georgia Hillier has spent a number of years under Di McCormack at Rupert's Wood and is now playing at the Sunbury Lions. So look, it could be in for a cracker of a match. We've just seen a draw in the B grade 1, so if that's anything to go by, we'll be expecting a cracker of a match. We are a little bit delayed here, but hopefully we should get a start soon. We're just about to get underway here at Clark Oval. As we did say who the starting sides was, there is a little bit of a change for the Sunbury Lions. They're starting Ruth Smith in wing defence. Smith, better known as an attacker, having played many seasons in the goal-in circle, but is now at the defensive end, so a little bit different there. The Sunbury Lions will start with the centre pass, and you've got Darley will be going to the Elizabeth Road end of the courts. We're underway here. The Devils with an early turnover through Shannon Blackman. The pass obviously then went over a third, so the Lions get it back, but a little bit of a scrappy start the first minute or so. Going to be an interesting battle in that mid-court between Honey and Stanley. You've got Honey, who has played for the Melbourne Vixens, where Stanley is a veteran of this competition who just runs all day. So it'll be interesting there. And then in the Lions shooting circle, as the Devils force a turnover, you have got a couple of young guns in there. You've got Lani Fakawanu, I think it's how it's pronounced, in goal shooter for the Lions. And in goal defence for the Devils, you've got Grace Markovic, who was Victoria's under-19 captain at the National Championships recently, as we see another turnover to start the game. Expect to see Rebecca Hicks do a lot of the shooting load here. She hits a lot of her shots under the basket, and she's got that height over the Lions defenders as the Devils get the first goal. We've got both teams here trying to move the ball quickly, but the defensive pressure's slowing it down a little bit, as we've got Tara O'Grady will go for her first shot to get the Lions on the board. Ends up falling short with Matilda Elliott getting the rebound. You've got Simona DeFilippo, is a player who's come across from previously played with Melton South, plays in the VNL Championship League, will be a key in this attacking end for the Lions. That partnership with her and Honey is something that's really starting to develop as the season goes on. The Lions are finally on the board now through O'Grady. One thing is early, McCormack's getting plenty of room against Smith. Smith seems to be staying off her a little bit more in sort of a zone defence, and McCormack's making the most of that and getting plenty of the ball. Lions lucky there, should have probably been a Darley ball. Nagel had plenty of hands on that one, but through the mid-court, both teams are struggling to get that ball forward with a lot of defensive pressure. Oh, a little bit of sloppy work there in the Lions attack. They looks like Fukuanu wasn't ready for the pass, and Devils get another opportunity to get this one back. And the Devils get that back, and now we're back on centre passes at 2-2. Sorry, 3-2. Scores back to 3-all with the Lions centre pass. The Lions are looking good when they can get that ball fast movement throughout the centre, but otherwise when they can't, when they've got that pressure down, it is looking a bit more harder. A couple of missed shots has proved costly already for the Lions too. Two on one in the circle here, so O'Grady gets that and gets the shot on goal, ends up getting that, and that was a result of Eliza Glant's work in defence. She was able to shut down the pass to Montenegro and they're able to convert. And another turnover in defence with Ali Randall picking that up. That pass over the back is one that is working well to Fukuanu so far, as that ends up bouncing in, and the Lions are leading 5-3 with their centre pass. Centre, the Devils are having to really work hard to get it through this mid-court. Hicks is able to convert the penalty and gets her fourth and her. The Lions' miscommunication there left them both out of the circle, go in for the ball, and Hicks alone in that circle. And 9 times out of 10, she's going to convert it. She missed that one, but gets the penalty, and she will get this one. And now we were back to 5-all. One thing here for the Lions, they seem to have a bit more height across most of the court. DeFilippo is probably about the only one who is shorter than her opponent. So, look, that's coming in handy here as Elliott is yet again gets another touch on the ball and puts the Lions back under pressure. And another missed shot by the Lions. Looked like there was a bit of hand on that one, so the Devils will look to capitalise with Stanley getting plenty of room on court, but then Smith gets it back and it goes straight back to Stanley. Hicks gets her sixth and the Devils take the lead. We're seeing a game here, pretty high intensity. Both sides are creating turnovers. There's a few missed shots, but a pretty even contest early on. Smith's starting to get a bit of hand on ball as well, even though it's not her usual position. Managed in that one, went out of bounds, but that's 2 within the last minute. She's been able to get that opportunity as the Lions force another turnover. Kawana gets her 4th as the Lions were able to make the most of the Devils centre pass. So they're back in front with it, Honey with the ball in her hands now. That quick ball movement again for the Lions was a key there as they managed to get that quite easily down the court and they're able to convert. Nice hands by there. Hicks with the pass over the back was able to get that without Randall being able to get a hand on that. With Nagel getting the turnover then for the Devils to put them back into attack. Smith unlucky then not to create another turnover, but you've got the Devils have the ball outside the ring, able to get that into easily to Hicks over the back. The lead is now 9-7 in favour of the Devils. A nice goal by there for Fukuano, who is part of the City West Falcons under-19 VNL side. She did make her championship debut earlier this season as well. That's now 10 for the Devils and 10 for Hicks as they leave 10-8. Markovic goes close there, but the pressure on the ball ended up with Elliott getting another intercept. She's got a couple already, so she started really well in defence. Randall with the hand in there, and the Lions were able to get that back. So DeFilippo trying to get the ball down quickly, but there wasn't anyone in front of her, so they had to slow it down a bit. Nagel with her first shot of the game misses it, but Hicks ends up getting the rebound here. So the Devils get that second opportunity and able to make the most of it to extend that lead back out to 2. Honey is getting plenty of that ball in attack, with Stanley heavily penalised in this first quarter. Probably one area they can look to tidy up because they are getting plenty of ball in defence if they can keep Stanley in play as Sunbury converts another one. And here we are at quarter time. You've got a 10. Darley is leading 11-10 at the first break. It's been a pretty even contest. Both sides have had some good periods of play, but then at the other end there has been a lot of turnovers with defensive pressure. So look, probably a pretty even first quarter, I would say there. Devils only a goal in front, but you look at, if you're the Lions, you'd be pretty happy with that performance. Few areas you can still tidy up with a number of different turnovers, but they are doing some good things. Here we are just about ready to start the second quarter. As we were saying, a pretty even first quarter with Darley leading 11-10. Both sides had some really good play, but there was a number of turnovers and a fair bit of defensive pressure. Looks like the Devils have made a change, bringing in Olivia Carthree is now in goal shooter, and they've brought Rebecca Hicks out to goal attack. That adds a little bit more height in that end as well, which is one area that the Lions were doing well, getting a few intercepts. So now it puts the pressure on that you've got two tall goalers that they have to look at. Lions have remained the same. O'Grady with the first of the second quarter. Looks like their Lions are trying to get the ball in, not to take those long shots. They did miss a couple early in that first quarter that they're putting that pressure under. Already seen that they are going to look to try and go overhead to Carthree as they just did there, and she was able to come on and convert that goal quite easily. It does throw a different look in that attacking end. Honey with the intercept there. Lucky to get away with that pass, but Filippo made it look good as they get it easily into the circle. Probably one that Lani could have looked to shoot them, but decided to hold it and step back and try again. Nice passing around the circle there. The Lions were able to work that in, and now it's a Devils pass. They're playing on their centre passes in this second quarter early. Randall not far off getting a hand on that one, but is penalised as Carthree goes for the shot. She misses, but as we've seen already, Hicks is really good at getting a rebound. She also misses that one, but they get a second rebound with Carthree able to finally convert. Oh, a poor pass there from O'Grady. Completely misses Fakalano in that shooting circle. It would have been an opportunity to level the scores back up, but Elliott now has the ball on the baseline. Held ball, it looks like that was called, so good defensive pressure by the Lions to get that back after that poor pass. Nice hands by Markovic, ends up getting the deflection, but it goes straight back to O'Grady, who's able to convert. Looks like defensively the Lions are trying to keep Hicks out of the circle. Smith was more focused on her than McCormack then. But at the same time, Carthy's come in and had an impact, got her third goal for the Devils as they remain in front. And Carthy is able to convert another one after an intercept there by Shannon Blackman. Pressure there by first Randall and then Gallant were able to get that turnover. So, look, I think they're settling into having that second tall defender. It was going to take a little bit of time, but second tall shooter. They've now taken that little bit of time to settle. It'll be interesting whether they can continue that on. Back to the Devils leading by 1 goal. Nice pass into the circle. That shooting connection starting to get there with the Lions as they're sharing the load around, and scores are now level. As we see a change here back in the Devils shooting lineup, despite having a really good role early on, Carthy's coming back off. Carthy's coming off, Hicks back into goal shooter, and you've got Monnagel back into goal attack. As the Devils throw a pass around there, that they can't quite get that connection going in that shooting circle just yet. Defensive pressure by Markovic again is showing why she is part of Melbourne Uni's state champ VNL side and the under-19 Victorian captain. She's playing goal defence but can play all 3 defensive positions and puts a lot of pressure on the ball, especially with her long arms. So there, a missed shot from the Lions. It was one of those ones a little bit further out. They'd sort of stuck away from that quarter and really paid off. So, look, they got lucky there with the ball coming off at Darley. And we've got here contact with Honey. We'll take the ball here as the Lions try and get the ball back in the circle. O'Grady misses the long one. I think the Lions need to just go a little bit closer today. Those long ones aren't falling, especially when you've got the height of Markovic and Elliott in that defensive circle who are getting plenty of rebounds. Just a stop in play there. The umpire's having a word to some of the spectators on the sideline there. Hicks gets the ball there with Randall not looking towards where it was going. As Hicks gets her first for the quarter after being so dominant in that first quarter. Hicks holds there, and she was able to convert that one to give the Devils back the lead. They lead 17-16 midway through this second quarter as both teams are going for goal at this stage. Lucky one there over the top. Doesn't even look to put it up for Kawanu. Another quick pass in that circle pays off for the Lions. O'Grady misses it, but we'll get the second shot via the penalty. Misses that one too, but I think both Devils defenders will be out of play here. Only Markovic is, so Fukuana will take this one. That pass looked all the way into the hands of Ali Randall. There was never enough on it to get over the top to Rebecca Hicks. So the Lions will take this down, and now they're going to get two in the circle with Grace Markovic out of play. So look, they can take this one and then take the lead. A lot of work in that circle because the Lions don't want to take that long shot as it's not working. So we see that's probably the longest one that has fallen today with Fukuana hitting that one. And now the Lions are leading 18-17. As we say that, Elliott steps up with another intercept. She's been a little bit quieter this quarter, but got one when her team really needed it. But looks like the ball's just been thrown away by Monaghan. Nice pass in that circle. O'Grady got free and was able to get the shot as Elliott tries to get the deflection but misses and gets a contact. So O'Grady gets a second shot. It's able to convert. Got the Lions now out by 2. They've sort of taken control in probably the last 2-3 minutes with a couple of really good periods of play where the Devils have been a little bit sloppy. As we say that, Honey gets an intercept there in the defensive lineup. So look, the Lions have been capitalising. They need to take this one here, get it back out to 3 goals, which is probably the biggest margin of the match. Sloppy pass there into the circle. Tried to go over the top to Fukuana, but went over the top. Hicks looked to pass that off, but Randall got some hands on that one. The connection's not quite there as much as the Devils would like. You'd think maybe Carthrie's another option to get her back on there. They looked a little bit better when she was in that shooting circle, but they're still able to get the turnovers to keep them in the game. As we speak, Elliott just gets another one in that shooting circle. She's really stepped up the last few minutes to get her side a bit of ball back. Nagel gets her first of the game now for the Devils. So, look, they're keeping in it. There's nothing in these two sides. Just the Lions have been a little bit better. But as I say that, they throw another ball away. They need to slow it down at times. They've got control of the game, but they're just looking to move too quickly. Gallant with the intercept there. That defensive end is really strong for the Lions. You can tell these girls have both played at higher levels and able to do that, and they're still missing a key part of their defensive end with Lucia Fukunanu, the sister of Lani, is missing. She plays for the City West Falcons in that championship division and part of the I think it's the Tongan national side. She's just been away with them, so she normally plays wing defence for the City West Falcons. So you add her into the mix, adds a little bit more depth to that defensive end. So that one goes in. The Lions continue to keep their pressure on, with Fukuana now the highest goal scorer on court with 14, ahead of Rebecca Hicks on 13. Again, Randall's hands are important there. The Devils managed to get it through McCormack back, but there was no options for the Devils down the court. Everyone had gone down too far and no one was leading at the ball. As Randall gets the rebound, and as the Lions try to move it quickly, almost a step there to Gallant, but was able to get it through into that shooting circle. Probably one of those further out ones that the Lions can't convert at this point. So the Devils are able to get the rebound and look to move it quickly, with Markovic providing an option which they didn't have the last time around the court. As we're back with the Lions leading by 1 goal with their centre pass. After a couple of poor minutes, the Devils seem to have steadied them a little bit and look starting to try and move the ball quickly. Not great consistent movement, but they're doing enough to keep themselves in the game and only trailing by 1 at this point, as that defensive end continues to provide winning ball back for the Devils. As the Lions get another one through O'Grady. Nagel's able to convert her second to get the score back to 1 goal. It is 21-20. It's a quick ball movement there yet again was a key for the Lions. Fukuana missed it, but able to get her own rebound and convert back. As we hit halftime score is 22-20. In that quarter, the Lions sort of took control in that middle part of the quarter to get the scoreline out to 3 goals, but weren't able to go on with it. The Devils have enough experience. You've got a side that was basically the same as it was last year. We're able to stay in that game, and it's just that 2-goal margin at this point. Look, the Lions have showed some really good signs. I think both defences have had really good runs at that point, so you look at some really good positions there. In the end, the Lions have probably been touch a better side with a few more options, just probably hurting themselves with turnovers. The Devils probably need a few more options, and look, make sure they're really getting that attacking end really quick, and that's probably where the problem is at the moment. So we will be back after halftime with the scores 22-20 with the Sunbury Lions winning. We are back here for the second half of the Ballarat Football Netball League netball match of the round. We're at Clark Oval where we're watching the Sunbury Lions versus Darley. We've got the Lions leading by 2 goals at half time with both teams making changes during the break. The Devils have moved Shannon Blackman, who just had a turnover there. He's moved into the centre replacing Bruce Stanley, and you've got Jamie Lee Smith now at wing defence for the Lions. They've also made the wing defence change with Ava Hillier stepping into wing defence with Ruth Smith going to the bench. It was a really good first half by the Lions against the experienced Devils lineup. The Devils were able to create a turnover to get it back then. But look, it was been a really good game of netball. The defensive pressure from both sides has been really strong. Probably at times both sides have rushed their attacking end, and probably where that looks down. As we also another change, Matilda Elliott has moved out to goal defence, and Grace Markovic is in goalkeeper for the Lions. Not the Lions, sorry, the Devils. As Rebecca Hicks gets the first goal of the second half. So that is her 15th of the game. She shot 15 of her side's 21. That quick ball movement is something the Lions are looking for in that attacking end, but there is plenty of defensive pressure by the Devils at this point. Both defenders there went looking for O'Grady, who was coming across the baseline, with Fukuana getting the goal there for the Lions. Both Lions defenders happy to let Nagel get the ball, but double teaming Hicks to try and stop her attacking output. But Nagel's able to convert there and put the pressure back on. A bit of physical presence out there, which is probably to be expected with 2 really strong sides there, as Fukuana gets the goal there for the Lions to take their lead back out to 2. The Lions get the turnover here, so look, a good opportunity to get an early break on the Devils' centre pass and extend that lead out to 3. They probably need to try and get a bit more of a break, especially against such an experienced Devils side who does know what to do when it comes late in games. Unlucky there for Elliott, gets her hand on it, but Fukuana gets the ball back, but ends up missing the shot and a contact against her, so the Devils do get the ball back. Nice hands there by Rebecca Hicks. Didn't take possession of the ball. Knew Nagel was there in a good position. Managed to get it onto her. Fukuna gets the ball there in. The Lions continue to keep that pressure on with that small gap of a lead. Look, like early in the first quarter, there has been a few turnovers. But look, the game is a good game of netball. You've got two sides who are playing some really good fast pressure netball with defensive pressure. As the Lions, unlucky there as the two girls clash, could have had that intercept. But instead, Darley will have another shot on goal, this time through Rebecca Hicks, who's able to convert from right under the ring. As a held ball there from the Lions, that defensive pressure from the Devils continues to be an issue here. Now, hopefully that they'll be looking to convert to get that goal back and put the pressure back on the Lions and put goals on the centre pass. Hicks able to get that there and just going to level the scores at 25 apiece. Now the Devils have the centre pass, so they've got the opportunity. They could have gone quite easily, gone 3 goals down. Now they could have the lead in the space of a couple of minutes. And they do take that lead through Hicks. As Lani converts that one to level the scores. Probably one that the Lions did need. The last couple of minutes they have stepped back a bit as the Devils have lifted the level. So obviously there, as we get a held ball, that defensive pressure is strong in the centre pass. DeFilippo with some nice hands there, gets Elliott stuck outside the circle as the Lions are able to convert, and Fukuana gets her 20th. Lions throw that one away, as in the background you can hear Devils coach Diane McCormack getting frustrated at her defenders. Randall gets a touch on the ball there, but it goes back out, so the Devils will get a second opportunity at their scoring end. We have contact on Hillier outside the circle with McCormack looking to get that in. That was the perfect pass there by Nagel into Hicks. Just didn't even think about it, put it up before the defenders could even get there thinking what was going on. Both Lions defenders out, so expect Hicks to get that one and put her side back in front by 1. The Devils lead 28-27. As the Lions turn it over on that centre pass as the ball goes through the hands of Tara O'Grady. Hicks able to hold there despite her dress being able to get that ball and able to put up her 21st for the game as the Devils now lead by 2 in their centre pass. So they've turned base. They were down by 2. Now they could possibly lead by 3 in a short period of time. The Devils' experience has stood up in this quarter. Strong defence there by Taylor Honey that forces that turnover, and she gets the quick inbound as they look to get the ball down quickly. Despite the sun in her eyes, Fukuna gets the ball and is able to convert and gets her 21st of the game. Both shooters have got 21 goals for the game and have dominated in terms of shooting contest. Average pass then by Honey just went over the top. Didn't look like it was ever going to hit a Lions teammate. Nagel able to convert there as the lead goes back out to 2. The Lions did have their opportunities but weren't able to get that goal back and get it back on the centre pass. That lead is now out to 3 for the Devils. Their match high as a sort of a bit steadied a bit after being sloppy early in this quarter. The move of Blackman into the middle has been a really good one as well. She slowed down Taylor's Honey's influence. Honey was really, really busy in that first quarter. As she creates a turnover there, probably should have been a contact against Honey on Blackman, but there was no call there, and the Lions look to get the ball back down into their half. Yet again there, another turnover. Honey just got the ball before able to ground in her feet, so quickly passed it off so she didn't get called for stepping. The score now 32-28 in favour of the Devils, and it's their centre pass. It's getting to a crucial point in this game for the Lions. They really need to stop the flow if they're going to end up keep themselves in this game. And Ava Hillier does that, gets in front of McCormack and able to force the turnover. Oh, the pass only just gets off there, but Fukuna gets the goal. Much needed one for the Lions, and it is their centre pass. The pace of DeFilippa is really key for them in this side. I think that's why they brought Smith on to try and match her, and she's been able to have a really good contest, one of the younger players on the court, but DeFilippa still having an impact in that attacking third. that bounce pass that Nagel does to Hicks quite often goes off there, with Hicks able to get her 24th of the game. Lani gets another one under the circle, able to convert. She's got some really strong hands for a girl who's still in her under-19 career. Both her opponent is an under-19 player as well, so a couple of really young talents as we get to three-quarter time. The Devils lead 33-31. The Devils sort of took control of that game in the second half of that quarter. The Lions had the opportunity to go up by 3, missed that. So in the end, the Devils have been up by 4. The Lions did get a couple late. So some of those changes they did make at halftime worked for the Devils. This match is still very much game on. Both sides have had some good opportunities here, and it looks like that Georgia Hillier will be coming on in the Lions for wing defence, and possibly a defensive change as well, with Randall coming out and Galent going back in. Look, we've got a really good game on our hands here. Some really good netball, some really good defensive pressure. Both sides have thrown the ball away a little bit. It's probably been the one disappointing from both ends, but looks like we're in for a really good last quarter. We're back for the final quarter of the Ballarat Football Netball League netball match of the day between the Sunbury Lions and Darley. The Devils are leading by 2 goals as we head into the final quarter. The Devils have made a couple of changes. Prue Stanley's back into the middle. Shannon Blackman has gone into wing attack with McCormack coming off. Georgia Hillier has gone into wing defence. As I was saying before the break, that the defenders for the Lions have switched their roles around as well. So you've got Ali Randall out at goal defence and you've got Gallant at goalkeeper. The Lions do get the first one of the quarter. This battle between Blackman and Hillier will be an interesting one. They would have trained against each other when they were both at Rupert's Wood, so no strangers to each other's games, as Hicks gets the first one for the Devils for the quarter. Nagel gets an early intercept for the Devils to give them the opportunity to go forward, but the defence of Gallant then was able to get the ball back for the Lions. Nice Looked like a nice pass there by De Filippo, was probably a bit further out as Honey gets called for contact and the Devils do get the turnover. Hicks continues on her way in the goal-in circle, gets her 26 for the game, and that's a big plus for the Devils. That was on the Lions' centre pass, so now they've got the opportunity to put the lead back out to 4 goals here. And Nagel's able to do that. Nice hands there by Fukuna in the goal-in circle as Markovic goes to the ground. De Filippo gets that pass that went back. It was sitting up there for a while and everyone could see it was going, and De Filippo was able to get her hands on it. That pass was always on. They've looked for that throughout the match to take the safer shot. Even though she missed then, it was the Devils are able to get that turnover with Elliott getting the rebound. Hicks is able to get that. Now the lead is back out to 4. Probably right now the Lions need to get a couple in the row if they're to stay in this game. Lucky there. You could see that ball was coming. Markovic went for it, couldn't quite get it. So Fukuna gets the shot but ends up missing it, but gets her own rebound. So this is one that is vital for the Lions. That steady hand of Hicks in the goal circle for Darley is a key for them. You can always rely on her to get the ball over the top or sometimes that bounce pass in front, and she's a pretty accurate shooter as well, especially getting a lot of them under the ring. Lani gets another one for the Lions. They need to break this centre pass now. Get out of jail there for the Devils. Could have quite easily been a held ball call, but instead it was a contact call on Hillier. Blackman unlucky there, managed to get the intercept, but on the second one was called for the play ball. Another pass, went for the quick one there, O'Grady, but Fikuna wasn't set and it went over the top of her head. Some great ball movement there by the Devils. Hicks probably a bit far out there, so decided to leave that. Got a contact outside the circle. Inside the circle there. Actually, it was an offside. Now we've got a contact, so Devils trying to get that in the circle. Even though Gallant get the hand on it, she was called for contact over the top of Hicks, who will look to convert this and increase it to a 5-goal lead, which is the biggest in the match. And it's the Devils centre pass here as well. Look, I think we're starting to see that the Devils' experience is shining through, and this team of knowing what they can do and who's going to be there where they need to be is a key. Look, as Hicks misses a rare one here, but able to get her rebound. So the margin's now out to 6 goals. You'd probably say that it's going to be hard for the Lions to come back from here. They've been brave so far in the first 3 quarters, but yet again, sometimes they try to push the ball too far. And those passes, we're seeing a number go over the baseline today. Randall gets a much-needed turnover for the Lions. They need to be able to convert this because it was originally their centre pass as well. Nice pass there. Probably should have been a contact call there, but Fikuna is able to convert and brings it back to 5. But it is a Devils centre pass, so they will need to break one of these soon. A horrible pass there by Blackman. Looked like she was running out of time, so she just took it. Looking about 5 minutes left on the clock as well. The Lions have managed to get a turnover here, so look, they'll look to get this down and convert it because they'll need to get it quickly if they're able to get back into this game. O'Grady puts one up that didn't look like going, but it's ended up falling. So it's back to 4 with the Lions ball. So maybe we do have another turn in this game. Another pass there that didn't look like it was going to get to a teammate. Markovic read that best, able to get a hold of it and now get the ball back in the favour of the Devils. Margin is back out to 5 for the Devils. Centre pass. The Lions really needed to convert that one after getting a turnover on the previous one. Now the Devils will probably look to hold the ball a little bit in these last few minutes to ensure that they can keep the ball in their hands and keep that lead. As Hicks is able to convert, as it's back out to 6 goals, we're currently 43 to 37. As Markovic gets a hand on that one, it goes out of bounds. It's another one of those fast passes into that shooting circle that haven't come off for the Lions today. Fukina gets her 30th goal of the game, so she's had a good game in the circle. Probably a few times hasn't been able to get a hand on a couple of those balls that have come late, but you've got a battle of two under-19 players in that circle who have both had strong performances. Nagel started to get into this game a little bit more in this second half after having those first few minutes of the court in the second quarter. Unlucky here against Smith. Probably could have gone the other way in that call, in that contact call, but the Lions get it quickly in and get another goal through Fukina. The Lions create a turnover there with their pressure. They're still down by 5, so they look to have to get it quickly as they're only able to just get away with their, firstly a hold ball and then a contact. De Filippo manages to keep that in. Somehow the Lions keep a hand to that ball and have got it in there forward third there. They could have gone out a number of different occasions as they are able to convert. And it is back to 4 goals with a Lions centre pass. Poor pass there to Honey, with Smith able to get that in. She's had a really good game coming on since half-time. Her attacking outlet as well has been a really good key for the Devils to try and get the ball down the court. After getting a turnover, the Lions have got it in the circle. So Fukina gets another one and he is back to 3 goals. I'd expect to see the Devils try and slow this up. They're up by 3 and it's their centre pass. No need to do anything stupid here because they're the team with the lead. As we say that, they do put a high pass into the circle. Probably one would have needed to slow down. It would have been, it went off Gallant, but she was called for contact in the end. So the Devils will get a shot through Hicks, and you'd probably expect her to convert. And she does exactly that. Some strong hands there by Elliott that forces the ball out. The Lions get it back, but that defensive pressure and wasting that time, which is also a key there. Unlucky there. Seemed like Honey got a push into the circle, but Smith got away with that, and the Devils end up getting the ball, which is exactly what they wanted. As we're in the final minute of the game. So look, the Devils have done enough here to get over the line, but it's been a good game of netball. Both sides have had some really good moments. Both sides have had some sloppy moments. The Devils' experience probably shone through a little bit more as the Lions tried to push things too quickly at times, as they do get a late goal, and it brings it back to 3 just before the siren. So here we have Darley has won 45-42 against the Sunbury Lions in a good game of netball, which showed Darley why they are one of the premiership favourites back coming up from a grand final appearance last year. And then you've got the Sunbury Lions, a brand new side that has come together this season. It's their 3rd loss of the season, but every single one of those games they've been in it. They've lost to Lake Windermere, North Ballarat and Darley. So look, I think come finals time, I think the Lions will be our team to mix there. In those performances, you had your 2 goal shooters were pretty dominant in Rebecca Hicks and Lani Fukina, and then you had your goal attacks play those key roles. Both sides made some changes. I think the move of Smith coming on in that second half was really good for the Devils. I think Blackman moving into the centre for the third quarter sort of shut down Honey a bit and put the pressure back on them. Look, I think the defensive lineups from both sides were both really good as well. Both got some key ball going back. I think that combination of Markovic and Elliott were probably the key in the end. They've played netball for a number of years and it showed there. But look, a good game of netball, and that's all for me here. Thanks, I'm Tara Murray, and enjoy the rest of your day.